PC. Used, abused, and forgotten. Some would say, doomed. Doomed, you say? Yes, doomed. But not doomed to a life. A lifeless carcass of a metal case. No. I'm thinking a completely different type of doom. So here it is. This was the system as I was cleaning it up. As you can see, there's a power supply in there, but the unfortunate thing was low powered anyway. I think it was only about 230 watts, but it was pretty chopped up as well. So they basically chopped all the innards out. There was a Sony CD drive in there, which had also had the front ripped out, and any fans remaining in the case had given up the ghost because they'd also been either bent or had the wires chopped themselves. So the only thing that was basically intact was the case. So I took it on myself to go, right, okay, this is going to be a cool little gaming system. So I decided to pick up a AMD HD 4870. That was my dad, so that cost me absolutely nothing. An Asus ROG motherboard from around 2008, and that had a Phenom 2 with it, as well as a 2 gigabytes of DDR3 and a cooler, all for the lovely price of £24. The other thing I picked up was a power supply from PC World of all places. This was by a company called Collinks or something. I didn't really want to spend too much money. I think you should really cheap out on a power supply, but this was 600 watts, and it was also had two PCIe connectors for the graphic card. So more than enough power for this card in case I decide to change any things in this system or update it or move it to another case. So yeah, I decided to rescue this case. At first it was outside in the rain. I was like, oh, I don't know if I should do anything with this, but I decided to, and here's me fiddling around with it right now and taking bits and bobs out and just trying to get things that were jammed in there wrongly out, really. So yeah, so you're going to see the results of all my building in just a moment. But before we see that, I just want to show you how horrible and gritty and ugly the front of this case was. It was absolutely caked in mud and dirt and grit and grime. So a little bit of a wet wipe and you kind of really see how much better it looks. So just because something looks ugly on the outside, it doesn't necessarily mean once you got rid of the grit that it is ugly on the outside. So I thought, what would be a good test for this machine? Now I thought, brilliant, Doom, it's just come out, looks fantastic. Let's see how many Dooms this machine can run. Starting with the original Doom, with a little twist. Yes, as you can see, this is Brutal Doom. And it runs like a beauty. Now, to be honest, you could run Brutal Doom on most things, even probably a toaster. But it looks great, plays super fast. I think when I had a frames per second counter on, it was around about 200 frames per second, so it's pretty ridiculous, this system for this game in terms of power. But it looks great, plays brilliantly smooth and fast, and it's bloody gory and bloody glorious. Next up we have Doom 64. Yes, Doom 64. Now it's recently been released on Steam for modern systems, but unfortunately I couldn't get that working. So I thought, what's good backup? Well, I went on an N64 emulator and I decided to play it that way. And for this system, it works perfectly. And here's a lot more footage of that. So enjoy. Now this game is quite atmospheric, very kind of ambient noises. There isn't any proper music. At times the frame rate would slightly stutter. I think that's because I was recording again. Otherwise it ran brilliantly and beautifully. And it's a fun game, whether you emulate it or you buy it on Steam. And yes, now we're past Doom 64, now we're on to Doom 3. Now this was quite a big game for me. When I first had a PC, I actually had it, and I really enjoyed it. It was dark, atmospheric, the shadow effects I thought looked amazing. So I thought, yeah, this is one of the reasons I built this in the first place, just to kind of like get that feeling again. A brand new kind of like Doom 3 feeling, and this system runs this game perfectly at around 60 frames a second. It just looks good. It looks really good at quite good resolutions, like close to 1080p. It can run at 60 frames a second.
Seems to be some very serious problems.
Oh, really? Do I need to remind you of the groundbreaking work that we're doing here?
No. But I've been authorized by the board to look at everything.
The board authorized you? The board doesn't know the first thing about science. All they want is something to make them more money, some product. Don't worry, they'll get their product.
Welcome to the dungeon, Marine. Most unexciting place on Mars. I'm gonna need you to grab some armor and secure your pistol before I can pass you through security. Okay, grab your gear. Now you're ready for combat. Let me do a radio test.
Hey, you're that new guy headed for the old comm center, right? You better hustle up, pal. The this passage doesn't go all the way there, you'll have a quick walk outside to the center's airlock. Hey, don't sweat it. Your suit's got plenty of oxygen.
You don't know what I've seen. You can't possibly understand or comprehend.
The devil is real.
I know. I built his cage.
I'm getting abnormal readings here. This is bad.
God!
We can't hold these levels.
Help us!
That's why we should come into all over the base.
Otherwise, the HD 4870 is really amazing for this game. You can have everything at ultra. It looks brilliant, dark, atmospheric, and it's a cool card to play with, especially with this game. Hope you enjoyed the video footage. While I was capturing this game, at times the frame rate, instead of being 60 frames a second, was 45 to 50, so any kind of judder or issues in terms of frame rate was due to my recording device. Now, we've tried all 3 previous Dooms. Now I wonder, will Doom 2016 work on this machine? We shall see now. Nope, it looks like this machine has finally been out-doomed. So there's no chance this machine is going to run Doom from 2016, unfortunately. So that'll probably mean it won't be able to run a Doom Eternal either. But, to be honest, that's not why I built it. I built it for the earlier Dooms and Doom 3, and for that, it is fantastic. It runs great, it's a brilliant machine, and I can't fault it. Overall, for this Doom system, I paid a whopping £54, and that was for a processor, motherboard and system cooler with some RAM and a power supply unit, so you can't go wrong there. The rest of it was all found or spares or given to me. Now it goes to show amazing things can happen with an amazingly small amount of money. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like and subscribe and ring that notification bell and come back for more content. I'll doom you later, guys.